For most computer users, you are already accustomed to using the undo command, or, as I would like to say, French word zut à l'eau, which means oh shoot. If you look at Photoshop, most people assume you only get one undo because the command Z or Control Z shortcuts doesn't undo more than one action. To give you some background on Photoshop, not until version 5, I believe, not CS5 but 10 plus, years ago in version 5 they added multiple undo since the keyboard shortcut was already Command Z or Control Z for the single undo. They needed a different one for the multiple undo command. Technically, that's called step backward. We are going to take a look at this image and undoing several times and redoing several times. In order to have something to undo or redo, I will go to my brush tool. One click on the brush tool. It's added to default size of 13, and I will make a mark. I could click here, click any larger size, and then make another mark. Do it again. Click, click, make a third, but I prefer to use a shortcut to do this. Look on your keyboard and look to the right of the letter P. To the right of the P on your keyboard is a left bracket and a right bracket. That key should also have the curly brace on it that you use in JavaScript programming. The right bracket, my brush size is at 50. Hitting it once, 60. Hitting it again, 70, and I make a mark. Right bracket, with 280, then 90. Right bracket, I am up to 125, making a mark every time. Now if you hit Edit, Undo, or Command Z, Undo on the PC, that would be Control Z. Undo only undoes the last action. It's technically undoing. And then when you hit Control Z or Command Z again, it's redo. To undo more than one, you choose Edit, Step Backward, and you can keep going back. And I will give you those shortcuts. For Mac users first. On the Mac, it is Command Option Z. Each time you hit it, you step backward. On the PC, that's Control Alt Z to multiple undo. To go forward, you could choose Edit, Step Forward, Edit, Step Forward, but my finger actually hurts when I click too much, so I am going to use Command Shift Z to step forward, Command Shift Z again, Command Shift Z again, or in Windows, Control Shift Z, step forwards. Each time you hit Control Shift Z, it will keep going forward until there is no more redos available. So, to review all of that, Command Option Z 6 times got rid of those. To redo, Command Shift Z on the PC, Control Alt Z, and then go forward, Control Shift Z. The final way you can undo and redo, again, if you are a mouse person, which is like an automatic driver, I consider myself a stick shift driver because I use shortcut keys a lot. But if you prefer a mouse, which is better for people who are just learning Photoshop, you will remember the visual way more than the shortcuts. You can do this through the History panel. The History panel should be part of the Essentials workspace, which is the default or out-of-the-box workspace. I click History, and at the lower right corner I can stretch it. I like to make history as long as my screen, so I have a lot of room to see my undos. Out-of-the-box Photoshop has a default multiple undo setting of 20 undos. So if I want to get rid of all the brushing, clicking Open once is faster than using the shortcut 6 times, so when I click Open, I start it over. If I do anything now, I will lose all of this brush action. So if I do an adjustment on the overall brightness of the image adjustments levels, and I take the middle mid-tone level slider to the left to brighten, when I click OK, you will see that all the brushes are gone. So be very careful if you start using history that you don't click something you did previously just to look at it and then make a mark on your screen, 'cause you will lose all your undos. Just watch that on the last thing you did, if I am just checking before and after. But ultimately, I do not want to destroy this image, so I am going to leave it at the original open state. Take a few minutes and launch Photoshop on your own. I will hope for you are working along with me, and try your multiple undo shortcuts and multiple redo shortcuts. They are in review: Command-Shift-Z to go forward, Command-Option-Z to go backward more than once. On the PC, Control-Shift-Z to go forward and Control-Alt-Z to go backward.